The Nile, the world's longest river. It flows 6,500 kilometres from the heart of Africa to the Mediterranean.
Wow, this is the Nile!
For thousands of years, explorers have searched for its source.
This is absolutely spectacular.
But all failed.
What could go wrong slipping with a machete?
Now, one man is on the cusp of solving one of the world's most elusive mysteries.
Dr. Livingstone, I presume.
Dr. David Livingstone, a man driven to open up the heart of Africa.
Wow, the greatest waterfall in the world.
But hot on Livingstone's heels was a new breed of explorer.
It was the biggest story on the planet.
Now, fellow adventurer Dwayne Fields and I want to understand what drove these extraordinary men.
I don't think he had any idea of what lay ahead of him. The stuff of legend and fable.
In the hunt for one of the world's greatest prizes.
The more we do this, the closer I feel we're getting to the spirit of what Livingstone would have done.
We'll be living like they did, wearing the clothes, eating the food, using the same kit.
Hippo! Hippo!
This is bloody thick.
Feeling their hunger for fame and glory. The race is on.
But you can see they've had so little rain here.
It just looks inhospitable.
Dwayne and I are in Zambia, in the heart of Africa.
You and I are very lucky. We've explored places like this before, so it's slightly more familiar to us.
150 years ago, we'd mapped more of the moon than the interior of Africa. The great unknown captivated Victorian explorers.
It must have been such a shock to the system for those early explorers coming from Great Britain, lush and green, into this.
In 1854, Scottish missionary Dr. David Livingstone set out to cross Africa from coast to coast. He faced a grueling 3,500 kilometre trek. Livingstone's discoveries would bring him global fame, but would he find the fabled lake that was said to be the Nile's source? Many rivals, especially flamboyant bad boy of Victorian exploration, Richard Burton, were also determined to find the source of the Nile. The race was on.
Look at this, Dwayne.
It's amazing, isn't it?
To understand these men and what they endured, we want to enter their world.
We're stepping back in time, my friend.
We've recreated the kit, food and clothing of a Victorian expedition.
That is the exact hat that I see when you imagine all of those early
Yeah,
explorers.
it is, but try it on.
Well, it's not very PC
No, it's not.
now,
Try it on.
but this is what they would have. This is
Yeah.
what they would have worn.
See, that suits you down to the ground, Fogle.
Yeah, but it's a pretty
It is,
loaded
isn't it?
piece of equipment now,
Yeah.
isn't it?
The pith helmet was designed to protect against the harsh tropical sun, but soon became a symbol of British colonial oppression.
I feel like a stormtrooper. What's yours like?
Mine's a replica of Livingstone's trademark cap. He was more a man of the people than a soldier.
That looks much more, fitting than this thing.
Hello, 1850.
Let's see the shirts. Looks quite big. Wow. You look like you're going to bed.
Victorians were deeply conservative. Only young boys were allowed to wear shorts.
Goodbye, shorts. Bye. Bye. Bye.
We're not going to see your legs for weeks.
No. I just walk like this. Would that work?
Livingstone's trousers were woolen tweed, perfect for harsh Scottish winters.
This is designed for a trek across the Highlands somewhere. I don't think it's designed for 40-degree temperatures in the middle of Africa.
Shirt obviously tucked in.
I mean, how else would you wear it?
Now dressed as Victorian explorers.
Dr. Livingstone, I presume.
All right, where are we off to?
That way.
We're ready to walk in their shadows, to live as close as possible as they did, as they set off into the heart of Africa.
I've always loved the tales of those early explorers, and I never fully understood just what an ordeal they had. Livingstone, you know, was someone I read about as a child. That's what Dwayne and I are here for, to get an understanding of some of the things he would have experienced out in Africa.
Livingstone set off from the west coast town of Luanda, heading east. Step by step, he charted the landscape, creating the world's first detailed map of the African interior. Would he find the vast inland lake and discover the source of the Nile?
Gosh, that one's huge. Look how quickly they just vanish into the woodland.
There's lots of wildlife here, so we need to be on our guard. But it's not just the animals we need to worry about.
It's going to be a really hot day today. Feel that sun heating up.
I know, it's like burning the back of my neck already.
It's a blistering 38 degrees centigrade today.
In here's bone dry.
Water's scarce. It was no better for Livingstone. He wrote in his journal, "I have drunk water swarming with insects, thick with mud, and putrid with rhinoceroses' urine and buffalo's dung."
You realise what an arduous task Livingstone had. And I'm already knackered.
It's only the beginning.
Livingstone was born into a poor Scottish family. He worked as a child labourer in a cotton mill, fueling a lifelong drive for social justice. As a Victorian man of high moral standing, he set off into Africa as a missionary and explorer, with 3 clear goals: to open the continent up for trade, to spread Christianity, and to abolish slavery.
We're going to need to drink a lot of water. It's so hot. We're covering some distance.
Yeah, I think so.
Livingstone's expedition often relied on the hospitality of local tribes. We're doing the same.
Hello, Charles.
Yes.
Hello, Charles. I'm Ben. How are you? Very nice to meet you. Hello. This is Dwayne.
Charles.
Yeah.
Village elder Charles is kindly putting us up for the night.
What do you think, Ben? This is our home for the night.
Be nice. Hard floor, but I think if the floor doesn't keep us awake, the cockerels will.
Charles has invited us to join him for dinner, just like Livingstone would have done. We're having a local meal of stew and maize porridge.
Mr. Charles, how do you say it smells lovely in your language?
Smell. Gunung Kilia.
Mrs. Charles, Ununkilia.
After 13 years in Africa, Livingstone had absorbed a lot of the local culture and customs. We're still learning.
Don't wash your hand.
Where?
Just.
Oh, she's got the...
Oh, I see. We wash our hands first of all. Dear.
I just got told
Yes,
off.
I know.
You're so bad.
I know.
You
started
Thank
it,
you.
Dwayne. Thank you.
You can start.
Oh, thank you so much.
This is lovely. Something quite nice as well about sharing a meal. And this is really sharing. We're sharing the same bowls.
That's why you had to wash your hands, Dwayne.
I know, with bags. I feel terrible.
By all accounts, Livingstone was a brilliant negotiator. He convinced a local king to provide oxen and over 100 men for his expedition, on the promise of opening a trade route to the coast.
Right, so Dwayne and I are in our room for the night. And look who's joined us! Charles, say hello, Charles.
Hello.
Charles is joining us, which is an unexpected surprise. Can I see the spear, Charles? What's this here? This, yeah, show us. This is for protecting us from wild animals.
Yeah.
If they come in the night.
Yeah.
Right. See you in the morning.
As we follow Livingstone deeper into the heart of Africa,
Look. It's a very large male.
we get closer to his more hostile encounters.
Back off.
Dwayne and I are following Dr. Livingstone's groundbreaking journey, crossing the continent from the west coast to the east.
So much wildlife here.
But now, as we travel further on foot, the dangers are very real, especially as we're entering lion country. Charles has arranged for local guide Daniel to escort us.
Daniel, have you ever had a close encounter yourself with a lion?
Oh, yes, I did. I surprised this big male lion that it charged me, and then there was dust everywhere. You know, I didn't have a rifle, but I just lifted my hands up and making myself big and shouting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it scary?
Yeah. You see this lagoon you're seeing to the left here? We do get a lot of animals coming down to drink. Sometimes we get lions coming to look, here.
Oh, wow, look at that. That is like the perfect print, isn't it?
Yes, you see, these are the toes. So this lion walked towards the water there.
And you've got good sight.
I was just about to say, I would never have seen that.
Yeah.
When Livingstone was in Africa, the lion population was 20 times today's. But there are still over 23,000 lions here in the wilds.
They might be close because looking at the tracks are quite fresh.
How dangerous is this, Daniel?
It can be, but we just listen to my instructions. Don't run away.
Okay.
Good.
How are you feeling?
Well, I'm glad we've got him.
You hear that?
Yeah.
That's a book whistling.
Yeah.
That's the alarm call of a small antelope called a puku. It means danger's close by.
The hairs on the back of my neck are rising up.
The lion's there.
The lion is there.
Say he was right. Is that a female?
So that's a lioness, yes. They might use the lagoon as a trap or the hunting trap. Whatever animal that comes to drink.
We're in the middle of the trap.
Exactly. There's a male.
Ah, yes, we can see them.
In case we get that charge, please don't run away.
Okay. We've got at least 3 that I can see. It's a very large male.
Wait.
It looks like there's a female sitting down.
She's moving.
Thankfully, the lions seem more interested in the puku. Livingstone was less fortunate. On an earlier expedition, he shot a lion that had been stealing livestock. Wounded, but still very much alive, the lion pounced on him, in his words, shaking him as a terrier does a rat. Livingstone only just survived. He had to set his shattered arm himself and lived with a crooked limb for the rest of his life.
Having Daniel there was incredibly reassuring, but I'm trying to now imagine Dr. Livingstone out here who had a much closer encounter than we had. He was a tough, hardy man. I suppose it just gives us another sense of what it must have been like. Okay, we need a reasonable clearing.
Head to your left, see what that looks like.
Over here?
Yeah.
As the day draws in, we need a camping spot, ideally somewhere away from the lions.
I think we have to put this from the inside, do we?
Yeah.
How's that looking?
Yeah, it's looking good.
Like our clothing, our tent is a Victorian replica. All we have between us and the wildlife is a layer of canvas and a mozzie net.
There are hippo prints, elephant prints, big cat prints, everything you can imagine all around us. You can read any number of books about those early journeys, but until you're here and you smell the wood smoke and you hear the sounds of the African savannah and you share the company of local people, you don't really get a sense of what those early expeditions would have been like.
There's still some heat coming from this, which means there might be some embers.
Like all good chief scouts, Dwayne's got the fire going for a brew.
Good morning.
For Victorian explorers, often the smallest creatures posed the greatest threat. Mosquitoes meant malaria. On this first leg of this expedition, Livingstone caught malaria 27 times. It very nearly killed him.
I mean, it's a very different beast what we're doing to what Livingstone would have done. You know, I've got anti-malarials, so I don't have to really worry too much about mosquitoes. I've had vaccinations, but obviously for Dr. Livingstone, he would have encountered all sorts of awful things and flesh-eating diseases. He'd have seen leprosy, so he would have been acutely aware of the danger, the invisible dangers all around. And that's something that Dwayne and I will never be able to replicate. Well, we're going to have a lovely cup of tea. Do you like it strong or weak?
Strong. We need to be ready for whatever the day throws at us.
It's going to be a really hot day today, though, I think.
We've been here a week. By now, Livingstone had been travelling for 10 months and had covered almost 1,500 kilometres. He was heading for the Zambezi, Africa's fourth longest river. Until the 19th century, it was believed it flowed from the same inland lake as the Nile.
You good?
Yeah, you keep going.
As Livingstone journeyed further across Africa,
Oh, goodness.
it revealed more of its hidden gems.
It's like the finish line's getting further and further away.
Woo! Good job.
Whoa, look at that.
Yeah, for Livingstone, this was the mighty Zambezi.
Uh-huh. For the first time, we can actually see what's ahead, and that's probably what they were thinking as well.
I can imagine the elation that Livingstone would have had after days on those flat plains, but then you get a huge horizon like this. Oh, wow. Look at this.
So he would have got out his pencil and paper, started making notes, taking measurements.
For Livingstone, plotting the course of the Zambezi was the key to opening up the interior for trade, spreading the word of God, and helping break the slave trade.
Livingstone was mapping every single hill, every meander in the river, the very first detailed maps of the Zambezi. So we owe a huge amount to him.
He believed he could improve the lives of the local people, but also feed industrial Britain's huge appetite for natural resources.
And let's get on our way.
Okay. Big rock on your right.
As Livingstone set sail down the Zambezi,
Hippo over there as well.
he's about to discover one of the world's great wonders.
That is amazing. There's a little beach down here.
Ben, just watch for crocs, yeah?
Yeah.
Don't want to surprise any of them.
Dwayne and I are following Dr. Livingstone's pioneering expedition to cross Africa.
That's a heavy boat.
He'd found the mighty Zambezi, but would this lead him to the Nile?
Front or back?
Front.
Okay.
Livingstone still had 2,000 kilometres to go to reach the east coast. By taking to the Zambezi, he could travel more easily, but like us, he now faced new dangers.
I think there's going to be a lot of crocs in there, big hippo tracks. And, oh. Okay, should we go?
Go.
This river is full of crocodiles. It's estimated they kill over 500 people a year in Africa.
Hippo over there as well.
But that's nothing compared to hippos. They're renowned for killing more people in Africa than any other animal.
What could go wrong?
Oh, Ben, don't say those famous words.
Livingstone's canoe was charged by a hippo. He wrote of it, lifting one half of it quite out of the water, so as nearly to overturn it. The shake it received shows the immense power of this animal. Wooden canoes like these are particularly unstable, and it's not just the wildlife that's a risk out here.
Well, we're about to hit a bit of a current.
Okay, you ready?
Yes, sir, let's go.
The Zambezi drops 1.5 kilometres from source to sea. It's full of rapids.
That's definitely faster flowing water. Okay, you're going to have to try and look out for rocks, Dwayne. Yep, we're starting to pick up speed now. So there's that big rock ahead of us, so we're going to go to the right of that, yeah? Got that shallow one just over there, Dwayne, on your right. Do you see it? Yeah, just there. Yeah, great. Okay.
So we can go forward just a bit.
Don't know that we're going to get it through here. Oh, nearly can't. Okay, yeah, that's good.
Good job.
Okay. Nice.
Oh, well done.
Nice. Woo!
Masterfully done, Ben, masterfully done. That's why you've got the captain's hat, you see.
Yeah.
My thing is, I just love being out on an adventure, exploring and collecting stories that I can take back and tell. I didn't say this to you before, Ben, but it means a lot to me for a couple of reasons. My great-great-grandfather was white and Scottish.
Wow. So given Livingstone was Scottish.
And in fact, my great or great-grandfather traveled to Jamaica as part of a missionary program.
Really?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. And
So he was a missionary, was he?
He was, yeah. So he traveled to Jamaica, met my great or great-great-grandmother.
Yeah.
And he was born the same year that Livingstone died. And actually, I did a DNA test a couple of years ago. Most of my DNA is that of the Bantu people who travelled all the way right across this region and would likely have been part of the slave trade, but equally could have been part of Livingstone's party.
Wow.
Who knows?
That's pretty amazing, Dwayne.
But that's why I really wanted to come on this, to experience what they might have experienced.
Yeah. So you may have actual historical ties to this whole story and this whole region.
I may do.
Around 12 million Africans were forced into the Atlantic slave trade and shipped to North and South America. Millions more were transported to the Middle East. Although Britain was one of the leading slave trading nations, by 1807 we'd outlawed it. But elsewhere slavery continued for decades, fueled by a global demand for cheap labour, ivory and gold. Livingstone came across its horrors on a regular basis. He was determined to see it abolished.
Although he was deeply traumatised by what he saw, he also realised that if he was going to embark on these various expeditions, he would need the help of slave traders themselves. And I think he was very conflicted by that.
You can't operate in a place like East Africa and Central Africa without mixing with one or two unsavoury characters who happen to be slavers. It was nasty back then.
I've actually got some of his writings from his letters home. If my disclosures regarding slavery should lead to the suppression of the East Coast slave trade, I shall regard that as a greater matter by far than the discovery of all the Nile sources together.
The public outrage caused by his letters prompted Britain to pressure the linchpin of the Arab slave trade, the Sultan of Zanzibar, into outlawing it.
I think when you take him as a whole and look at the results of what his letters have led to, he was a good man.
Livingstone's legacy is complicated. Whilst he accomplished many great things, today missionary work is often seen as having a detrimental impact on local culture. And by opening up the continent, Livingstone also sowed the seeds of colonisation.
You're not too far off. How do you like your fish?
Well done.
I think that's quite good.
Really.
We are sort of morphing back in time. That's really what we wanted to do, and that takes a bit of time. And the more we do this, the more nights we sleep out and the more days we paddle, the closer I feel we're getting to the spirit of
what Livingstone would have done. Dwayne and I have been travelling for over 10 days.
I can tell you now, it's not easy.
Woo!
Got some ways to go.
By this stage, Livingstone had been travelling for a year and a half.
Good to carry on?
Yeah, let's keep going.
He'd covered over 2,000 kilometres. He was over midway through his expedition when he reached this exact spot. Victoria Falls, over 1.5 kilometres wide, the largest waterfall on Earth, and one of the 7 natural wonders of the world.
That is amazing. Incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can see the canyon walls all glistening with,
Oh, wow.
the evening light. Can you imagine for Livingstone, having toiled to get here and see something unlike anything he would have ever seen before.
Livingstone would have been the first European to ever set eyes on this place.
So I've got an extract here actually from Livingstone's missionary travels, which I think sums up what he saw beautifully. Scenes so lovely must have been gazed upon by angels in their flight. And of course, the gazed upon by angels in their flight, he was a man of the church. He was out here spreading the word of God, and I think he was profoundly moved by this view, and you can see why. The greatest waterfall in the world, Mozi or Tunya, as the locals called it, but of course he renamed it.
You rock up to a place, it's called the Smoke That Thunders, and he changes it to our monarch of the day, Victoria. It's got a name, you don't need to change the name. The name fits perfectly.
But I bet it brought him some favours back in Britain.
Oh, you can, yeah, for sure.
I mean, this discovery by a European was met with front page headlines. You know, he really would return a hero.
When Livingstone finally arrived back in Britain after completing the first crossing of Africa, he was hailed as one of the world's greatest explorers. The humble missionary from Scotland was now rich and famous. But while Livingstone was back home, new explorers were heading out to Africa.
This is more of a campaign. It's much more militaristic.
In search of the source, but also fame and glory.
This was still a complete mystery, the stuff of legend and fable. Yes. Wow. That is beautiful.
We've been following Livingstone's groundbreaking expedition across Africa. Now he's back in Britain, being hailed as the world's greatest explorer. But one man isn't impressed. Captain Richard Burton, a flamboyant army officer and explorer nicknamed Ruffian Dick, was determined to become even more famous than Livingstone by finding the source of the Nile. Livingstone had established that the Nile didn't start in southern Africa, so Burton headed north, closer to the equator. He faced a 1,000-kilometre trek in search of a rumoured inland lake called Tanganyika. Burton took a straight-laced second-in-command with him, keen geographer Lieutenant John Hanning Speke. They set off on the 26th of June, 1857.
Hey, Bo! I'm Ben. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good, very good, thank you.
Bo,
How are you?
not too bad, I'm Dwayne.
To better understand their experience, we're enlisting the help of some local porters to carry our kit. We've got 20. They had 132.
A little bit more than I tend to take away with me.
No expense was spared on this expedition. And unlike Livingstone, Burton and Speke were comfortable using slaves, as well as free men in their caravan.
Can you imagine what it would look like with 130 people or so?
I think the line would stretch out of sight.
Very different scale to anything I go on. This is more of a campaign. It's much more militaristic. What do you think of our Victorian feast?
We've been happy eating local food, just as Livingstone did. But Burton had a taste for the finer things. He took many Victorian delicacies with him.
Red wine, out in the heart of Africa. I mean, how luxurious would this have been? That's nice.
It's really good. The original recipe, 1828. So this was before.
Gentleman's relish. I mean, this is something you can still get. Gentleman's relish.
What does it smell like?
Wow, cat food. Definitely. Sorry, that's the first thing that comes to mind. Super fishy.
It tastes better than it smells.
Burton and Livingstone couldn't have been more different.
I know what this is.
What is it?
Okay, it's a
It's cheese.
pretty...
It's,
That's not any old
it
cheese.
stinks.
Potted blue Stilton. Look at these. This was the pièce de résistance. Smoked oysters. Wow, it's got a really unusual texture because you know they're usually kind of snot-like. Mm-hmm. This is not snot.
I could really get used to the smoked oysters.
I can tell you, I have never been on any expedition where I've eaten food of this caliber and quality. Not that I like very much of it. How do we get rid of that taste? More wine.
More wine.
more wine.
Dragging boxes of gentleman's relish and all the other things, wine. That explains exactly why they needed so many porters. I reckon, had they not carried all those fancy meals and fancy foods, they could have done it in half the time.
As they continued west, Burton and Speke, who were both battle-hardened military men, were soon struggling with incapacitating African diseases.
I never fully understood just what an ordeal they had.
Speke nearly went blind, and Burton's legs failed him. But they were determined to carry on. Burton was carried by stretcher for months.
Let's get the guys up front to stop.
We need to thread that through.
We want to get a sense of what it was like to be stretchered. Dwayne's volunteered.
Let's put that down.
Only white explorers would have been carried like this. If anyone else got sick, they were left behind to die.
Gosh, I think this is the most awkward thing I've done on this entire expedition.
In what way?
In being carried when I'm perfectly able to walk.
Try and imagine 11 months of this as we get going. I'd love to know how, whether it's enjoyable or whether it's humiliating, whether you feel guilt, because I think that's a fascinating thing.
Well, I can tell you instantly, I feel a level of guilt already.
You good, Dwayne?
Yeah.
As the sun beats down, it's soon 40 degrees centigrade.
You okay in there, Dwayne?
Yeah. Just check that everyone's okay. You're okay?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. This doesn't feel right at all.
So we've got 8 pretty strong men carrying this stretcher right now, but it's heavy. But a bit like everything out here, kind of a war of attrition.
I feel like I'm doing something really cruel and inhumane, especially in the conditions.
Dwayne is a good old weight.
I just want to get off now. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
I think that was probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. That was a lot more emotional than I expected?
Honestly, I've never felt anything like it. I genuinely did not like it. I felt this sense of like overwhelming. I felt like I was being so cruel to have someone carrying me in the baking sun through this harsh terrain. I felt so cruel.
My entire life, I've heard about black history and slavery and, you know, the abuses. And for a fraction of a moment there, I felt like, hold on, that's what I'm inflicting on someone else right now. I couldn't justify it in my own head or in my heart. And I had a little wobble there.
I think that's what this whole journey is about, isn't it? It's about giving us an idea of where we might feel there's exploitation, where they didn't. That's what I always thought about this journey.
I'm glad there's shifting times.
There's so many elements. Because are you a real hero if you've done it on the shoulders of others? That a lot of people take full credit for
shared
victories.
Yeah.
Just in that moment, it went to my heart, man. It really went to my heart. I just, yeah.
By all accounts, Burton had little respect for the local people he employed. And it seems that Livingstone, in turn, had little respect for Burton, calling him a moral idiot, systematically wicked, impure and untruthful.
Everything I've heard about Burton, he did sound like quite an arrogant man.
Yeah?
Yeah. Burton wanted the fame and glory.
Now, as he neared his goal, Burton was on the cusp of finding his mythical lake and, he hoped, securing his place as one of Britain's greatest explorers.
This must have been quite an exciting moment, the build-up.
Speak, Burton, getting close to that destination.
I'm really quite excited
I'm
about what we're
excited.
going to see. Wow. Oh, look at that.
Whoa.
That is a beautiful sight.
Burton and Speke spent 8 months travelling over 1,000 kilometres before arriving at Tanganyika, the world's longest freshwater lake. Burton was adamant it was the source of the Nile. He was over the moon.
It was well known to locals, but back in Europe this was still a complete mystery, the stuff of legend and fable.
Like Burton and Speke undoubtedly did before us. After nearly 2 weeks in Africa, we're celebrating.
Okay, I'm quite excited. Party time!
We're all sharing a pot of local home brew, Pombe.
Okay, that's an unusual taste.
All Burton had to do now was pinpoint the outlet that fed the Nile, and victory was his.
I can't.
On the shores of Lake Tanganyika, Burton was certain he'd beaten his great adversary Livingstone in the race for the Nile.
Come back to the party, man!
But the race was about to take a fatal twist. Next time, Burton and Speke set out to prove Tanganyika's the source of the Nile. But it doesn't all go to plan.
Burton thought Speke was onto a fool's errand.
So Britain dispatches its greatest explorer,
Dr. Livingstone, I presume,
to solve the mystery once and for all.
I genuinely can't imagine how that was even possible.
And we face our biggest challenge yet.
This is a miserable, miserable swamp.
It's really dangerous out here.